Why the first $10,000 is the hardest. Imagine trying to push a huge boulder up a hill. At first, it barely moves. You push harder, and it still feels impossible. But once the boulder starts rolling, it becomes easier and easier to move. Building wealth works exactly the same way. And that's why the first $10,000 is the hardest money you'll ever make. But once you reach that milestone, everything begins to change. Let's talk about why. Part 1. You're starting from zero. When you start your financial journey, you have nothing working for you. No investments, no savings, no momentum. Every single dollar you save comes directly from your own effort. You trade hours of your life for money, and then you try to keep a small portion of it. At this stage, progress feels painfully slow. Saving $100 might take a whole week of discipline. Saving $1,000 can take months. That's why the first $10,000 feels like climbing a mountain. Part 2. Your income is usually lower. Early in your career, your income is usually at its lowest. You might be working entry-level jobs, maybe you're paying off student loans, maybe your rent eats half your paycheck. This makes saving money extremely difficult. When your income is small, even saving 10% can feel like a sacrifice. But here's the key. The habits you build during this stage are far more important than the amount you save, because habits compound just like money does. Part 3. Life is expensive. Another reason the first $10,000 is hard is simple. Life costs money. Rent, food, transportation, insurance, unexpected expenses. It often feels like money disappears the moment it enters your bank account. That's why so many people stay stuck living paycheck to paycheck. Not because they're bad with money, but because their expenses consume everything they earn. Breaking that cycle takes intention. Part 4. You haven't built momentum yet. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in personal finance, but in the beginning, you don't have any. When your savings balance is small, growth is tiny. For example, if you invest $1,000 and earn 10%, you make just $100. That doesn't feel life-changing. But when you have $100,000 invested, 10% becomes $10,000. Now the money's doing serious work for you. That's the power of momentum, and it only starts once you build that first financial base. Part 5. Your investments are still small. Early on, investing feels almost pointless. You invest $50, maybe $100. The returns look tiny, sometimes just a few dollars. But what most people don't realize is this. Investing early isn't about the returns. It's about building the system. Automatic investing, budgeting, consistency. Because once those systems are in place, scaling them becomes easy. Part 6. Most people quit too early. This is the biggest reason the first $10,000 is the hardest. Most people quit before they reach it. They try saving for a few months. It feels slow, it feels pointless, and eventually they give up. But the people who keep going, even when progress feels invisible, eventually hit that $10,000 mark, and that's when the game starts changing. Part 7. Why everything gets easier after $10,000. Once you reach $10,000, 3 powerful things happen. First, you gain confidence. You realize saving money is actually possible. Second, your investments start producing noticeable returns. Even small market movements begin to matter. Third, your financial habits become automatic. Saving money is no longer something you try to do, it becomes something you just do. And that's when building wealth becomes much easier. Part 8. How to reach your first $10,000 faster. If you want to reach your first $10,000 faster, focus on 3 simple things. Increase your income, reduce unnecessary expenses, and automate your savings. Even saving just $10 a day adds up to over $3,000 per year. Combine that with raises, side hustles, and smart investing, and $10,000 becomes achievable much sooner than most people think. Closing. The first $10,000 isn't just about money, it's about momentum, it's about discipline, and it's about proving to yourself that building wealth is possible, because once that first $10,000 is working for you, the next $10,000 becomes easier, then $50,000, then $100,000, and eventually your money starts working harder than you do. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more simple lessons about money, investing, and building long-term wealth, because the sooner you learn how money works, the sooner it can start working for you.